Okay.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Hyperspace App. We are on episode 14. We have a stacked show once again today. I'm just going to go ahead and dive right into things. Joining us today, we have Evan.
Hey guys, I've been having a pretty mixed week this week. Great news in terms of a good Clone Wars episode. We got a new release date for Top Gun. But then yesterday had some pretty bad news regarding Last of Us getting delayed. And then Kenobi got this new writer, which I'm not so happy about.
Naughty Dog, you're not part of my friends list right now.
Definitely not. So I'm very excited to talk about Kenobi though, and I got a lot of things to say.
All right, also joining us, we got Brandon.
Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? We have a lot to cover, like Evan said. So let's get into it.
Also joining us, albeit maybe tipsy, we'll see. Carson.
Hello there. Welcome back to Hyperspace Hype. I'm excited to be back. Like Evan said, it's been a roller coaster of a year, a week. Time is irrelevant these days. We're just stuck in our hyperspace lanes, trying to stay safe. And yeah, I just want to talk some Star Wars, and we definitely have plenty to talk about. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. Which, first off, being everybody stay in your hyperspace lanes, stoplight speed skipping. We need to get through this. But that addressed, we have a new episode of the Clone Wars. We are over halfway done with the finale of the season, of the series, and we have
crazy.
Dangerous Debt, which showed Ahsoka, Trace, and I keep blanking on her name every time. Rafa, yes.
Yeah.
They have been captured by the Pikes, and we follow a progression of breaking out, which leads back to being captured where we all started. However, we learn a bit more about our characters that we've been following along the way, and it gets quite fascinating. So how did you guys feel about this week's episode?
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the adventure that they went on. I was very shocked to see that they ended up in the same place as they began. You don't really see that a lot in Clone Wars. Usually in an arc, you usually see them like continue to progress the story in a way. Not saying that this didn't progress the story. We kind of learned a lot about our characters. But yeah, I was shocked to see them back to see where they started. But overall, I liked learning about Rafa and Trace and their little backstory. It really reminded me, I said this during the episode, it reminded me of Captain America's Civil War in the sense that like their actions have repercussions or unknown repercussions that then make them feel, of course, guilty and stuff in Ahsoka's sense. But yeah, besides that, I liked seeing some of the Mandalorians we saw later on too. Overall, it was a pretty decent episode. Not one of my favorites, but it was okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I really liked this episode. And I really liked, I think my favorite part of the episode, honestly, was sitting in the cell and having Rafa go over the backstory of like the unintentional consequences of that. I think it's like the Jedi chasing down, what's the Hutt's name?
Zero.
Oh God, what a character.
What a character. Zero was great.
Anyways, I think it really, again, challenges Ahsoka in good ways. It's evolved from her getting down there and her not being self-sufficient yet in different places at Coruscant and living outside the Jedi, and now seeing the true consequences of her past. And I think she's feeling a lot of guilt and also now responsibility to get them out of the situation. But also she's just one person. So I think it's kind of clever, oddly enough, how they started and ended the episode in the same place because, being that she's just kind of alone now and just with these two sisters, it's like she sees how much more challenging things are. You're not next to Anakin Skywalker in a clone army. It's a whole different ballgame.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Like, I was kind of shocked it ended the way it started. They just killed a few people and picked up Bo-Katan. Pretty much basically picked up Bo-Katan's eyes. But other than that, like, it was a really good episode. But like that's the thing that got to me because I expected them to escape by the end of this episode because like part of me is kind of ready for this arc to wrap up so we can dip into the Siege of Mandalore and all that.
Agreed. Like we kind of all expected this arc to be about Ahsoka living in 1313 and trying to get used to life on the edge, life on the run, and questioning her loyalty to the Jedi. And we've kind of been seeing that through Trace and Rafa, but she's not really. I get the sense that she's not really learning as much as she's supposed to. Because at the end of the episode, Rafa, I think, apologizes to Ahsoka. Like about how they all got into this mess, saying like maybe I shouldn't have took a job with the Pikes. And I'm like, I don't, as an audience member, I don't think that's the lesson. I think Ahsoka should be the one apologizing, because in the beginning of the episode, Rafa straight out said what I've been feeling, which is if we went to the Pikes, sold them into spice, and ran off, we would be off this planet right now. It's kind of Ahsoka's fault for questioning everything morally.
Right. Yeah, and it's like it's almost like with her experiencing life higher up in Coruscant that she automatically assumes that her moral compass and experience is worthy or kind of like better knowledge than the sisters. And so I think it's dealing with that. And then honestly, throughout the episode, like I mentioned before, it's like the guilt, like she's like using the Force because she feels so bad that part of her reasoning has gotten them in this mess. And so I thought it was really interesting. We talked about last week of like how she was going to kind of continually hide her Force powers and kind of go about that. And I really like the bridge scene in particular. I think Rafa's like, oh, that's not natural, but there wasn't any time for them to like question her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so I'll be curious. I'll be curious if this next episode starts off with maybe Rafa mentioning that, or kind of Ahsoka having to spill the beans a little bit, because this episode we had the sisters having to kind of share more, and I think this next episode Ahsoka's gonna have to open up.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah, I was like you guys, I was surprised that it did end up ending back in the cell, because I was mainly surprised because I thought I had another half, maybe even 2/3 of the episode to go. It honestly, it was well paced, dude.
It really was. It moved so fast. My brother and I were like, "It's over already? It's 23 minutes already?"
Yeah, because like when they got put back in the cell, I was like, okay, Bo-Katan is gonna come in, save everyone, and then it zooms out like it always does. I'm like, oh damn, the episode's over. What?
Yeah,
it was one of the few times I was actually surprised, like when the music starts to kick up. I'm just like, wait, no, what? Stop.
But I think what Carson said is a good point. I think Filoni really wanted to tell us, like, Ahsoka can't easily get out of this situation now. Like, if she just had a lightsaber and she was with Trace and Rafa, right, I think they would have easily escaped. Like, all you need is a lightsaber and some better equipment, and they could have escaped, or they could have. But basically, if Ahsoka was by herself, I think she could have easily escaped. But she's with Trace and Rafa, and that brings a lot of difficulties to the situation. So it was interesting. The kind of Rian Johnson does here with this kind of surprise twist. I'm not saying Rian Johnson's built on surprise twists and stuff, but yeah.
At the height of their power.
But the whole Zero the Hutt situation thing, I really like that kind of stuff because it really connected to early, season 3 of the Clone Wars with him chasing Zero. Because as soon as she was telling the story, I clearly remembered that scene in my head.
Yeah, and then Zero got killed by Cad Bane, right?
No.
His
girlfriend. Yeah. His girlfriend. but I wanted to ask you guys, what Jedi was Rafa talking about? The Green Jedi? Was that Luminara?
Luminara.
It might have been. I don't know. I mean, how many Green Jedi are there?
Exactly. Like, it's not a Ahsoka. Like, Luminara, it wasn't Barris, right?
No.
That was the only two I was considering.
She also talked about her black cloak. So
this year. You're right. Okay.
That's what made me pick up on Luminara.
Oh, okay, yeah, I must have missed that black cloak part. But
it was interesting, just hearing the story, because if it was Luminara, that kind of sucks. Because,
I know,
because it's just like the whole situation that like the Jedi at least did come to confront them, but all she says is like, all right, well, I had to make a decision, but may the Force be with you, and you just leave. Like, these are children.
That's messed up. I kind of love that because, again, Filoni's really telling us how much Jedi are kind of wrong. It's really the epitome of the Clone Wars.
In one line, he was able to convey that.
Yeah, one line.
It's just like, oh, that hit so hard.
it hits so hard. It's like, hey, may the force be with you. You'll be fine. It's like, whoa. These children are in child protective services now. I mean, they have to live. Not even that. They have to live by themselves. Yeah,
Streets.
they live on the streets.
That would be like Carl Weathers running up to you, like you're like on the road, on the side of the road, bleeding. He runs up to you, be peace, and he runs away.
Basically, I'm like, dang, it's really messed up. And
it's the real life equivalent of thoughts and prayers. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
It pretty much is.
Dang, you're right. This is getting really modern political.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. Which the Clone Wars always has been. It's always been political. And it was funny because I was today I was watching the Hello Greedo video about like people's complaints about this season of the Clone Wars. People saying it's not like political enough for them or something. I'm like, I disagree. I think there's even in the Bad Batch arc there was some political stuff there going on.
Yeah.
And even here now, especially with the whole thoughts and prayers thing, with the whole spice and the whole drug cartel aspect of it all. I think it's all morally very interesting.
It got it's a pretty intense episode the way everything flows because there's legit torture that happens to Rafa.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
And when she wakes up from her unconscious state, she's like, I don't know where the spice is. Or I can't remember what she says, but
they didn't even ask me any questions. No.
I was about to say that. I thought she was going to say that. Yeah.
That same music plays. That same exact music plays after, like, it cuts from her getting tortured to Ahsoka and Trace in the cell. It's like dun 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 dun. It's the same music that plays in Empire after Han gets tortured. Yeah,
good cat.
I've listened to enough John Williams.
And that's on Kevin Kiner. Kevin Kiner. Actually, Kevin Kiner's score. We need to talk about that, especially during the Ralph's like confession scene of like that whole past ordeal, talking about what happened to them. Kevin Kiner's score it has been consistently great this season, and it better get. I know they released a theme for what was like the theme of the Bad Batch or whatever, got released officially on Spotify and Apple Music and all that.
Yeah,
but
I haven't heard that.
We're still missing Kevin Kiner's Rebels season 3 and 4,
which is a crime.
Which is absolute crime. I had to listen to Trials of the Darksaber, Sabine's scene, whatever is playing it is absolutely brilliant. I had to listen to that on YouTube, and it sucks. And
you like that YouTube quality?
Well, I just like to be able to turn off my phone. Like whatever.
Wasting so much battery.
But I really hope that I especially think dealing with the Maul stuff and getting more into the Mandalore stuff, we're gonna get some more bombastic score from Kevin Kiner in the following week. So I'm excited to hopefully re-listen to that and obviously watch it as it goes.
Oh yeah. What do we guys think is the next course of action for next episode? Since we've run into our Mandalorian friends.
Yeah, that was very fascinating. I did not see that reveal coming. So apparently a guy on Twitter said that was Ursa Wren next to Bo-Katan. So obviously we all heard Bo-Katan. We know Katie Sackhoff's voice.
Yeah.
But then Ursa Wren was apparently there too, and it's revealed in the credits as well. And she's
you didn't hear it clear as day?
Yeah, I know. Ursa Wren's an iconic voice actress played by Ming-Na Wen. No, I'm kidding. But that was very fascinating, bringing in some Rebels connections there. Hopefully we get to see her even more in the forefront in the Mandalorian. She's a Mandalore in a sense there. Would Sabine be born right now? Or is she not born yet?
Clone Wars.
No.
She's supposed to be the same age as Ezra, right? So I doubt it. Or near the same age as Ezra.
How old are they in Rebels?
I don't know. 14?
14.
14, 15.
Yeah. Well, if we're at 19 years.
Our resident Rebels expert, Brandon, is on the case.
He's like, don't worry, guys. I'm on the way.
Okay, he's 17 at the end.
He's 17 at the end.
Oh, he's 17?
But that was after
exactly,
the 3-year time skip.
I think that's a couple years before New Hope. So
yeah, okay, but yeah, it was interesting seeing Ursa Wren. So at this point, the Siege of Mandalore hasn't happened yet. The Republic is supposed to come back to Mandalore, but So it's just those three, or we don't know who the third one is yet.
Are they
But,
just scout? Okay, where's Maul at right now? Does he have them?
Maul-
He's hanging out with
Does he have them
Palpatine
under
and-
his thumb, or
and
kind of
Anakin.
communicating with them? Or
I think what Brandon said is right. I think he's just held kidnapped by Palpatine at this point, according to Son of Dathomir.
Interesting.
Yeah,
but honestly, he still could be doing their bidding. I mean, vice versa.
Yeah.
They could still be doing his unintentionally too, just like looking out for. I don't know why. I'm curious to see what it builds on, because I don't know why they would. I mean, it makes sense that they're kind of keeping track of her, but also like, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it kind of makes sense that they're looking for Ahsoka. Ahsoka was very prominent in the Mandalorian arcs, every single one of them.
Yeah,
actually.
every single one.
Every single one. When she went there to go teach those kids of like the nephew of I forget who was that, Satine, the nephew of Satine. She taught those kids, and then when she had to help out Padme on Mandalore, when she helped out the old drug part of Mandalore. So yeah, she's been very important to Mandalore. And do you guys think they know that Ahsoka's not a Jedi anymore, and that's why they're going after her?
That's a good point, actually, because
like recruiting.
That's a good point, actually, because the Jedi have basically pulled out of like certain wars unless it pertains to fighting the Separatists.
Yeah,
so that's a good point.
So do you think they could be like, "Hey, she's out"?
Yeah, they got the memo.
Like,
they got the email notification. Ahsoka's no longer a Jedi. Okay, cool.
Cool. We're on our way, guys.
We're on our way.
We need fighters.
Unless Palpatine was like pulling the strings on Mandalore as well, like gave Bo the information that she's not a Jedi anymore.
Wow.
That's a far-fetched theory.
Yeah,
but,
I'd be shocked if that was the case. Because I feel like they're looking. Because I feel like Mandalore is like still evil, quote unquote evil. I think it's under Separatist control right now, and right? Am I wrong about that?
What?
Yeah, because at this point, they came down from the moon, right? And then
I think Satine died. Obi-Wan left, and Obi-Wan said like, "We'll be back. The Republic will be back." But
right under it's still
seasons later, and they still haven't come back. So I'm very curious to see what sets off the Republic coming back. Maybe it's just like, okay, it's time to go get Mandalore now.
Yeah, but what do you think? Because I even think they say in this episode, they're like, what is she doing here? It's like, what are they doing there? Like, why are they like, I don't know the proximity of where this planet is, but like, I doubt it's by.
Interesting. So they said like they were surprised to see Ahsoka there. You think? It's like, were they there on a separate mission? Then they were surprised to see Ahsoka.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, I don't think they were looking for, because I believe there's a line in the episode that says, "What is she doing here?" That could, I think, the Bo-Katan's like, that could be the Jedi that blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
But
okay.
like, but then she says, "What would she be doing here, though?" Or something like that. So
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know. What are they doing? Like, it does. I'm just super curious.
Do you guys think this next episode, do you think it's going to end with just like the end of the breakout, or do you think we'll be taken to our complete setup to just dive into Siege Mandalore for 4 episodes?
Anakin and Obi-Wan are definitely in next episode. 100%.
Yeah, I hope it give us the setup, give us everything, break them out in like the first 5 minutes of this goddamn episode. Get them.
I keep giving credit, but like,
wait, so do you guys think Anakin and Obi-Wan's in the next episode? Like, you're just gonna jump into Siege Mandalore?
Not physically there.
Carson and I,
not physically there, but they're gonna be like a B plot, I think.
Yeah,
really?
Carson and I kind of saw the description for next week's episode, so.
Unfortunately, I don't think.
I read that, but I totally forget what it was.
It sucks, but unfortunately, I don't think Anakin and Ahsoka are gonna share like in-person screen time at all.
So what's the B plot?
No, they will, because remember the thing that they gave us at Celebration.
Oh yeah, that's right, with the clones.
So okay, so so the Mandalorians don't help them escape?
They're gonna have to be. They're
gonna have
ones
to,
who
right?
can.
Yeah.
They're the only ones who technically have weapons.
Yeah.
They have the technology.
Well, maybe they're just gonna try to leverage it against Ahsoka and be like, "Well, we rescued you. You had to fucking help us." Like, I don't know.
Ahsoka's morally superior too, and she's like, man, she knows Mandalorian needs help, so I think she'll.
Yeah.
But so what's the B plot that you guys are talking about for Anakin and Ahsoka?
There's so Anakin and Ahsoka.
Anakin Obi-Wan, I mean.
Oh, Anakin. Where I think they're gonna have to decide going to Mandalore or fighting Grievous and Dooku. Get the Chancellor back.
Good Chancellor, yeah.
So is Chancellor gone next episode? What is happening? This is jumping so fast. Wait, what episode are we on next week? Is it episode 8?
8?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We got a lot of stuff to do.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12?
That's it.
Honestly, with this arc that keeps padding out, and I enjoy the arc for sure. I'm worrisome that we're not going to get as much time frame within the span of Revenge of the Sith as I wanted. It's a bummer for me personally.
You really love that movie.
Yeah, well, I like the thought of it going like throughout
It's good.
the film, like the film going, and then like you're at these different points. But
I mean, I think we still could. Filoni teased it, and he's quite the trickster.
I mean, we will. I just
not.
I was expecting it to be at least like within the span of like 4 to 6 episodes, but not worry, it could be the last like final 2 to 1 if anything.
Okay. Yeah, I think 2 to 1 as well. And again, I think this has always been about Ahsoka and Rex. So sure. I think it'll end with Ahsoka and Rex probably departing, going their separate ways, and then we'll see Order 66 through Ahsoka and Rex mainly.
Well,
and we'll get the overlaps where needed.
Have you guys read the Ahsoka book?
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
Okay, so you guys kind of know what happened.
Yeah.
I totally forget. All I remember from that book is Ahsoka playing like a board game.
She plays a board game?
I haven't watched.
She plays some board game in the cantina on some planet, and then like they have to
totally forget about that.
I don't know.
I haven't read the Ahsoka novel, so if it like has anything like that could be revealed in Clone Wars, I don't want to hear.
Yeah,
we're not saying.
Not first.
She kind of dies in Siege of Mandalore. Sorry.
Yeah, she like dies.
Clone.
She turns to
dies. Rex shoots her in the face. Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy dark. Yeah. You won't see it coming.
Rex's chip just goes bad, and then just kidding.
Ahsoka takes the chip for Rex.
Ahsoka puts the chip in her to sacrifice herself.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Jesus Christ.
That's amazing. So it was a fun episode for sure.
Yeah.
There was
plenty
of excitement.
Do we think Rafa and Trace are going to finally find out she's a Jedi next episode? That's right. It has to be right.
For sure.
They're going to have to.
Just checking. Because
like Trace is going to be like, "Oh my god, cool!" And Rafa.
How do you think the reactions are going to go? I think Rafa is going to be kind of pissed. Mostly.
Do you guys?
Trace will be accepting, but
yeah. Do you guys think Trace and Rafa are going to stick around for the Siege of Mandalore?
No. Nope. I think their arc is going to wrap up this episode, and they're going to be gone.
I like these characters. Like
we're investing a lot into them. Like to just like
really are.
Like, if they don't stick around, I feel like we've been doing this side quest for.
Okay, but you say that, but also if the credits are there and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go focus on getting my new ship," blah 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 blah. I would totally see that happening. Of like, "Oh, we're destined to that. We're bound to this," or something like that, which kind of makes sense.
Oh,
sure.
What if, like, at the end of the Clone Wars, when Ahsoka like leaves like the quote unquote Empire at that point, what if she just hangs out with Trace and Rafa for a bit under the radar? Could that happen? Could they be in the final episode? I think that'd be interesting.
I'd be down.
I just thought of that.
I'd like it. I'd like to see it. But yeah, so it was a good episode for sure. Moving into some rumor news regarding season 2 of The Mandalorian, and that is the fact that it has been rumored Jamie Lee Curtis could be joining the cast.
Jaime.
Yeah. What?
Jaime. Look at the little scroll. You spelled Jamie right.
I did not. I didn't?
I think it's right.
You're Freudian slipping your mind.
Am I just tired?
It's not Jaime. It's Jamie.
I thought it was Jaime.
It's not Jaime.
Jumanji Lee Curtis.
Oh yeah, the eyes in the wrong place.
Jumanji.
All right. You know what?
Okay, I was right. Oh thank God. I thought I was tired or something.
You
Wait,
are.
so where's the I at? How do you spell Jamie Lee Curtis?
Nothing. Everything's fine. What are you talking about? Everything's fine. It's the same. What are you talking about?
Oh, you did
spell
spell it wrong. You
Okay, now I
totally
see it. Now I see
It never
it.
happened.
Anyways, we're back.
Anyway, that's a cool thing if that does happen.
Imagine if Ryan Johnson directs the episode that she's in.
No,
That's
she
where I was
did not
going.
happen.
Like people
Not
keep saying that in
happening.
the comments, like, is
If it
Ryan Johnson
happened-
coming back?
I'd be shocked.
I mean, he said he'd be down to do an episode of Mando.
I agree. I'm like, Mando season 2 filmed what? October last year? What was it, October 2019? He was doing like the whole Oscar press tour for Knives
This
Out.
man was doing crossword puzzles at home, and he was going to his office.
That was a pretty cool video, by the way. But
I mean, never say never.
never
not
say
saying
never.
never.
But I doubt it. I doubt it. But I'd love it to happen. I think.
You're telling me
I
Steve
mean, how long does
Yedlin
it take to film a TV show?
with Mando?
With
Yeah, I mean,
Mando.
I feel like
I bet
3
it's a
days,
3 week.
4 days.
Well, because
No.
their entire set is right there. They don't have to
Yeah,
go anywhere.
Not necessarily. I still think it's a 2 week to 3 week shoot.
For one episode?
Yeah.
They've already filmed it, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying like what they did.
I
Like,
bet it's
feel
a
like
2 week shoot.
I read like I used to like watch like The Flash and Arrow, and they always film stuff like in a week. It takes to film stuff, but that's different. But of course, but
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but what do you guys think of the casting?
I like the casting a lot. I mean, she's a great actress. She'd fit right in the Star Wars universe. Hopefully, they don't pull a Ming-Na Wen and kill her off in one episode.
They'll
That'd
be
be
back.
okay.
You know what? If they
She
revealed
won't be
that
back.
figure-
Stop saying that. She's
if they
dead.
revealed that figure was Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
That would be
So I-
awesome.
so
I
I just-
love that.
So I just Google searched this. It says multi-camera comedies, better known as sitcoms, typically shoot on an episode per 4 to 5 day week. It's pretty luxurious schedule. Single camera comedies take a bit longer, but hour-long dramas, longer than that, commonly take around 8 days per episode. So,
But
Yeah,
sir,
but
this
we
is
literally-
ILM. You have extras. You have like imagine if there's like a TIE fighter
then-
in the episode. Like
I agree,
Whatever.
but
Lucasfilm.
But the new technology, they were kind of how should I say? They were kind of testing it out in season 1. Now that they have it all
Yeah.
under control in season 2, I feel like it's
Hey,
going to be more
I
streamlined.
think if you have a villager set where there's water and stuff, and you have an ATST like coming in, and like there's so much stuff you have to do.
Maybe.
Not that they'll never be outside,
Okay.
but, you know.
Let's ask John Favreau. Let's get John Favreau on the phone
Okay,
right now.
at Celebration,
I
we're gonna
haven't-
yell at
I'm
him.
going to tweet him.
Okay, you do that. what if he gets back to
You're
us on the
actually gonna
podcast?
tweet him. Okay. Well, okay. So yeah, it's not too much to go over. However,
Yeah, what do you think of the casting, Nathan? You like it?
I love it. And like even to this day, like Knives Out, she was fantastic. In Halloween, beautiful. I would love to see her definitely be a type of fighter. Because I think she could pull it off for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great casting. She's a great actress. She's a legend, honestly.
It's
And-
interesting that Jason Ward's report seemed to indicate that I can't remember what it said, but it was like she was briefly on set, or that was
Yeah.
Kane. And then there was like, oh, she could have been on Avatar 2 set, which is like, what?
The hell?
Yeah, we should talk about that because I read the report too, and I was kind of laughing because it said she was spotted on set near the location of Avatar 2 / Mandalorian. I assume this is in London somewhere. So they kind of
Which I
assumed
thought-
he was a Mandalorian.
I don't
So
know why I thought Avatar 2 was like shooting in Australia or something. Or are they shooting? I don't know, but
are they shooting on location at all for Avatar?
no. I thought there was not a Pinewood, but a
Oh, some kind of studio.
some kind of big. I thought there was a Weta there or something.
Oh, okay.
What a digital studio? I don't know.
But yeah, I think if the rumor is true, I think she'll be a great cast. Maybe just a chorus 1 episode, probably.
I could see her being like a bartender or something, which I'd kind of be disappointed by.
I mean,
But
yeah,
I think she's gonna. If she's in it, she's gonna have an impact on the show.
I agree.
The other bit of Mandalorian stuff we have regards there's a at this point, it's not a single; it's a continuing rumored report that the Ahsoka live action appearance in The Mandalorian could actually have it could be a backdoor pilot to an Ahsoka miniseries, limited series. How feel you?
I feel you. I'm not happy, Bob.
I'm not happy, Bob.
I'll watch anything. I'm a shill.
That hat is the best, Nathan. But I'm not happy because I mean I say that, but then I'll be like the first person to watch it at 3 a.m. on Disney Plus when it happens. But
Literally every time.
but it's just I don't think this is gonna happen because I feel like the other reports about Ahsoka being a Mando, those are more than likely correct. I think is too many reporters saying that she's gonna be in Mando. I can understand that. But as a backdoor pilot for an individual series, I don't.
In the vein of Kenobi,
In the vein of Kenobi,
especially in the time period, like
that's the thing. That's the main issue here.
That's what my main issue is, because like it'll be interesting. Like we speculated on last episode of kind of like what would her purpose be overlapping, or maybe it was Sabine that was pulling her a different way towards the Mandalorians, or we were speculating like what was going to pull her into this show. But like, would Filoni? Because the Rebels sequel show is like pretty much rumored / confirmed ish.
It's technically confirmed. We know it's gonna happen. They don't give us a cliffhanger on a big show just to never happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that's animated and that story is animated, then what big sequence of events needs to be live action for Ahsoka?
Surprise! It's going to be the Baby Yoda show. We're going to follow deliver it to the planet via. Going to divert something that could do its own thing.
But that's my issue too, Carson. Like, what do we need in this Ahsoka 6 to 8 episodes, just hypothetically, in live action? That's so important, so cool that we don't see animated with Sabine, Ezra, Thrawn in the animated Rebel sequel show. Yeah. We don't really need this to happen. I don't like that. I mean, what is so important about seeing Ahsoka in live action? Everybody wants to see Ahsoka in live action. Why? Like, I don't get the appeal, but what's so better about live action compared to animated?
I would love to see her, igniting white sabers in live action. Like, oh my god, like
I don't need to.
I don't need to. But of course, if I see that,
but it's cool. All right, no, but
anyways, from like a story perspective.
In seriousness, the Ahsoka series, like you said, Evan, like I'll definitely gonna like watch it day one. However, I agree. I'm not asking for it. I'm not pining for it. I don't need it. There's a lot of different prospects to explore, old and new, that I'd be way more intrigued. I mean, plenty of different varieties of solo sequels we've had ideas for would be probably the better idea than following a live action Ahsoka when we have the animated show on the way.
And speaking of that, not moving totally away from Ahsoka, but just this week, John Kasdan talked about how somebody asked him about Solo 2 straight up, and he said Solo 2 is just might not be a thing on Disney Plus because there's so many other stories that Lucasfilm is developing for Disney Plus right now, and that kind of
it's coming to theaters. Let's go.
The theater is definitely not.
Right.
But, and that kind of confused me though. I'm like, what are these other stories that are potentially in development for Lucasfilm for Disney Plus? Like we have Mando season 3.
Yeah, right now we got Mando, we got Cassian and Kenobi.
And that's a lot, just as is.
That's a lot as is, but that's like what? That's capping out at 2022 if everything goes correctly.
We can still continue to
with season 1s, and obviously Mando continuing.
Do we think Cassian and Kenobi are going to be more than season 1?
Cassian will be, I bet.
You think so?
I think Cassian could pop up to 2 seasons. Kenobi only 1.
Kenobi is limited, yeah.
So,
okay.
Actually, I had a thought just now. How do you guys feel about this? Because I know we've had many discussions of Star Wars release dates and their placement being yearly to bi-yearly. A lot of people have said in the past like they would want a couple Star Wars films a year, but I think now we've gotten to the point like, no, we're certain we don't want multiple films a year. but and not to continuously follow the Marvel format, but the Disney Plus shows are going to be premiering within the same year. How do you guys feel about Star Wars doing that for Disney Plus, considering that each episode will drop weekly and they're shorter stories instead of just like the big budget back-to-back stories?
I think they like don't. It just experiencing Mando kind of through, especially because episode 8 of Mandalorian was so on the coattails of Rise of Skywalker, and I think that it works having one show, one movie per year.
Sure.
One live action show, that is, and a live action movie per year, just because I think as these shows go on, I like the way that the format works of week per week, where it's a different feel. It's an event, and yes, you talk about every episode, but it's not the same caliber of like event as the live action. So I think you can kind of stagnate it like that, where it doesn't feel like overload because it is different mediums.
Do you think so? You wouldn't be down for multiple Disney Plus series for Star Wars at the same year?
Yeah. So your question is like, would there be more than one Disney Plus series in a year for Star Wars?
Yeah, and also to like add to that, granted it could be overload for some people, but on the other hand, there could be just like having the options for the audiences. Like I doubt people who are watching everyone who watches Mandalorian, I doubt they're continuously watching Clone Wars as well.
And we definitely have to consider that too.
Well, are you talking about like if they overlap each other? Like
no, not necnecessarily overlap.
Just in the same year,
like a spring release
fall.
and a fall. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I mean, I'd be fine with that. I'd have to see how the Marvel shows go first, I guess.
Well, same as Mando. Like,
oh yeah, I'm saying like Marvel shows because they're coming out with 3 of them by the end of this year.
So, I mean, and they're like throwing a gamble with that to like saying like firmly they're going to tie in with the films.
Yeah, especially with the connectivity. I don't think the Star Wars shows have any ambition of doing. Yeah.
Especially since we're going into like potential more High Republic era stuff. That's super disconnected at that point.
I think actually with Nathan's question, I think it's inevitable that we'll have more than one Disney Plus series in the same year. I thought that was already going to happen with 2021 if Kenobi didn't get all messed up. I thought we would have Kenobi and Cassian in 2021.
But that's with the absence of a live action movie.
Oh, you're saying with the addition of a movie too?
Yes. With
okay. When's the next one?
Hypothetical, yeah.
If a movie comes out, then I think it would just be one series, one movie a year.
That's how I would want it.
Because there's too much to do, in a sense, I think.
But
there's totally different studios. There's a different studio doing Mandalorian than a different studio doing a movie, for example.
Right.
So it's possible, but yeah, I doubt it.
In this time frame, while we do wait for the next set of films to come, do you think it could happen like you would have like a multiple season show going like Mando, but then also you'll have a limited run series like Kenobi? Would that work?
Definitely. I think that's definitely going to happen down the line. Even when we get to like the 2022, 2024, 2026 films, even if those films are set in the past, you can still continue to do Mando season like 5 while doing a spin-off of Solo, for example.
How many seasons of Mando are you guys comfortable with?
3 to 4, 5 most probably.
5 Breaking Bad style.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Breaking Bad style. That's what I would say.
I think it all. For me, I feel like it all depends on how season 2 goes.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or with how the story goes.
I
in
agree.
Season 2. Like I'm super excited for it. I just need to see how the story goes.
I think we're going to at least get 3.
Yeah, at least get 3. You're right. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we can keep Baby Yoda for 5 seasons.
No.
That's too much.
Oh no.
There's no
I
way.
think they'll resolve it by the end of season 2.
Yeah.
So you can explore more stories without the
I agree.
baggage of the childcare.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not even get into what Bob Iger said about them potentially doing Mandalorian spin-offs, which hasn't been confirmed, but that's just
Oh yeah.
Don't want it. Don't want it.
that.
Yeah, I don't want it either. I mean, some people are even saying maybe he didn't say that exactly because That's just coming from somebody who listened to the conference call. Maybe he
wasn't an
misspoke.
earnings call or something. Yeah.
Earnings call. Yeah. So maybe he misspoke.
Like-
I don't want that to happen either.
Like I'd love to see Cara Dune on a solo adventure, but I feel like it'd be difficult to do with just her, you know?
Yeah, she's not the best
Yeah.
actress for. So
Oh,
I
come
love,
on, man.
I love her. She's great. She's great for an episode at a time. I don't need her
Yeah.
leading a series.
Okay.
I love Cara. I love whoever plays her name.
Cara
Gina
Dune.
Carano. Gina
Yeah.
Carano. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that definitely could have worked with Cassie and Kenobi within the same year because it's counter programming again. You could follow the Jedi stuff or the specific war stuff.
Totally. Yeah.
And we, it seems, I bet in a probably in a post Kathleen Kennedy era, it's like Evan says, it's kind of the inevitable of having multiple Disney Plus series and probably still movie per year. I think there it's still yet to be tested, but I think there's a lot more flexibility with Disney Plus, and I think they're more willing to take the risk of not everybody has to watch the same thing. And as scary as that is, as Star Wars fans, especially because we consume everything, I think that's a very real conversation that they're having of okay, big, and maybe a way to handle it is to make different things for different people. I mean, Star Wars has always been like that, and especially nowadays. But I think that's how they're going to utilize Disney Plus even better, is kind of considering the whole general audience of okay, maybe they'll watch Cassian and not Kenobi or vice versa. And I think we're kind of in a different point where we have so much Star Wars, yet it's a choice for us.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One thing I'm really excited for is Giancarlo Esposito to come back though. For Mando.
Season 2 or beyond?
Season 2.
Okay.
I don't think he's making it out of season 2.
Me too.
There's no
Yeah, I was
way.
about to
Yeah,
say.
no
Yeah, I think he's a Connor.
Moff Gideon and Giancarlo Esposito. Moff Gideon's an amazing character, played by an amazing actor.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to want to stick around too long.
And we really don't know anything about him yet.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, which is fascinating. Yeah.
That Darksaber's got to come back.
Oh,
He's gonna die
The
by the
Mandos.
lightsaber, I think.
Back, not just like with him. I mean, back to the Mandalorians themselves.
He's going to be decapitated by the Darksaber.
Oh, yeah. That I'm down.
Or he get blown up in half. You know.
There's a
Whatever
lot of
Star
creative
Wars
ways to die
death.
in Star Wars.
Adjusting his-
Yeah, it's exciting. Sticking with the Disney Plus, and speaking of Kenobi,
Ooh. Kenobi. What's going on with Kenobi, Nathan?
Joby Kenobi is on writing.
I'm fine with it.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Art.
I was kind of conflicted at first, but I'm like, you know what? He's done some pretty good stuff. So
Name them. Name them right now.
I like your continue on.
Not the
Brandon.
producing, the writing.
listen.
Before I go, I want to hear what Brandon has to say.
Oh, writing. Hold on. Let me look at his IMDb. Give me a
Yes, his job that he has been
His
assigned.
one writing credit is King Arthur: Legend of the Sword.
He's not producing Kenobi. No.
Wait,
Kathleen Kennedy.
all right, what's his name again?
Joby Harold.
Joby Kenobi.
All right,
Just put in
listen,
Kenobi.
I'm gonna go on my
Yeah.
rant.
Carson, you go first.
Joby won.
I'll back you up.
Okay. Anywho, kind of surprising in the terms that we have a new writer when we kind of had Ewan come out and do press control of oh, it's not that bad. We're just touching things up, blah, 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 blah. Which I feel bad for the guy because they had him come out on stage and whatever. And Star Wars. Anyways, he comes out on stage and he's like, I'm coming back. But I feel like at this point, it's evidence that the scripts do it for all, or at least they're being advised to, especially with the break in productions with everything happening in the world. But it frustrates me from the point that it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like a satisfactory, okay, I quote unquote earned his stripes by just doing a few movies he hasn't written television before, and I don't think any of his movies have been pretty much critically reviewed. Any
Nope.
a low Rotten Tomatoes. I hate to use Rotten Tomatoes score as a gauge, but he's co-written King Arthur, The Last Knight, and Bumblebee, and he's also in the Transformers. He's also in the Transformers new writers room, which is
I hate that word so much.
Anyways,
so he's writing now, right?
Yes, he's writing now, but we don't know to what extent. We don't know where the scripts are at. However, I don't think they would have hired him without either his pitch being really, really good or saying Deborah Chow, hey, can you kind of advise him and see where this is gonna go? I don't know. Like it's just interesting to me. Like I feel like there's so many. I don't know what else to say. I know Evan's gonna.
This is the thing. Right now, we gotta admit, Lucasfilm was on the not to their credit. They're on the back right now. They need something good. Yeah. Cassian Andor, as we know, is not doing so hot. Like last year, we had Tony Gilroy apparently come in,
which is absolutely hilarious. Can I would just say?
Yeah, it is pretty hilarious. He had to come back. He's like, God dang it, guys, I have to come back.
He's like, I hate this. Give me the paycheck.
He's not even a Star Wars fan. Exactly. I don't think he's even a Star Wars fan. But yeah, he's a good person. But anyways, so we know Cassian. But then Diego Luna came out, or somebody came out and said Cassian Andor is coming out next year. So apparently that's going well again, maybe. But that had his hiccups. Rise of Skywalker comes out. Guess what? That had his hiccups. It wasn't the best, well-received Star Wars film at all, really, in my opinion, and in others. And box office-wise, it shows Rise of Skywalker. So right now, Lucasfilm needs to get people's trust back. They need to keep on doing some good news. But then we got the news that Kenobi was getting pushed back. Like Carson said, like, oh, crap. Ewan had to come out and say, like, oh, guys, it's okay, we're good. And I believed him. I think, okay, yeah, you're right. And at that point, even to Carson's credit, I think I figured they'd have to get some new writers because they said the scripts they're changing. Like, we just need to get some better scripts, I think. I think he said, it's fine. We'll just get some better scripts out there. Everything's good. So I figured the writers will have to change. And I was disappointed because the writer that they had, I think his name was like Hussein Amani, Indian actor.
He's done TV.
Indian writer who did TV. He did Drive, I think, too. I think he wrote Drive.
He did Drive, yep.
But then now he got pushed. And I was like, okay, that's disappointing. So let's see who they bring in. Maybe they bring in somebody equally as talented or somebody who has some credits. And then cut to yesterday when we get Joby Harold. and this is what I don't like. First of all, it's another plain. I shouldn't say plain. It's another boring. Yeah, thank you, Nathan. Yeah, you said it for me. It's a boring white bread kind of person. And this is after Kathleen Kennedy says, like, oh, we're going to push for more diversity in our new projects.
She says that every 6 months, which is like, come on.
Where is it?
Which is great. Like, we got Deborah Chow directing, so I'm still super happy about that. But when it comes to the writing, in television, writing is very important. People know who writes Breaking Bad. It's Vince Gilligan. People know who writes Westworld. People know who writes Game of Thrones. The writers are kind of like the people that people know, which is different from movies. People know who writes a movie or who directs a movie better than who writes. So then you come out with Joby Harold, who has no credits. And like we were talking about before we started, it's kind of like he's succeeding upward. What did we say, Carson? Something like that.
I said another white man failing upwards.
Failing upwards. Yeah, exactly. Because he has no credits. And the thing is, I'm very disappointed in that, not just because he's a white guy, but that adds to the point, like, oh, he's a white guy with no credits.
Right.
And I got some flack on Twitter. People saying, just trust the guy. And give him a chance.
Not.
Give him a chance. And this is the thing. Lucasfilm, we're not at the point where we should be giving people chances. We're not at that point right now. We need A hitters. We need great writers. Now, great is very subjective. There's no such thing as a very awesome writer. Somebody might not even like Vince Gilligan, for example. But we need an established writer, at least. Somebody who has written some TV. Somebody who has written some movies. Joby Harold has apparently written or helped write the new Zack Snyder film, Army of Darkness, or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
But he only has
again,
co-writing credits. I'm pretty sure
he has co-writing credits, and that movie still hasn't come out yet. And it's a Zack Snyder film, which, to be honest, Zack Snyder usually dominates his films. He usually very much is in charge of directing and writing. So that doesn't even count really. But this is Kenobi, a character that we're all super excited for, and I don't want to have to I don't want to leave this up to chance per se. Like I don't want to have to be like crossing my fingers for Kenobi. We have Deborah Chow on board. We should have an established writer. It's kind of pathetic that we have to be excited for somebody that we have no clue who he is.
It feels like a placeholder. It feels very much like the Jack, whoever that guy that like came on very briefly at the end of Colin Trevorrow's run on episode 9.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't remember his last name, but he came on to like polish it or whatever.
Yeah.
It feels like very like, okay, we're bringing someone on to show that there's progress, and it's just I don't know, like it's just
it's not
it
good.
Sits with me the wrong way. I don't know.
It sits me the wrong way. It sits a lot of people the wrong way because if you're Lucasfilm PR, are you thinking this name is going to get people excited for Kenobi? Granted, it's Kenobi. People are going to watch this anyways, but. Like just from a PR perspective, Lucasfilm, you're at the bottom right now. Not exactly at the bottom, but you're fighting from a bottom standpoint. You're not right. You're not going off of a great exit with the Skywalker saga, unfortunately. And we just need some great news, especially after Kenobi got delayed. We want some great news on like why it gets delayed. Let's see, maybe if they can polish up their scripts, maybe we'll be fine. But when you're polishing the scripts with Joby Harold, we can't get excited. I just love saying that name. It's really, really funny.
How furiously you say his name.
It's perfect.
Joby Harold.
I can't get excited, and we should be at a point where they should be giving us people that we should be excited for. Like I don't want, like somebody mentioned today, like how about they have the person that wrote the Legends book Kenobi to write the show? Like no, like we saw Fantastic Beast, whatever. Authors cannot write scripts, so I don't want that to happen either.
Well, actually,
this is where you're wrong, sir. The entire Harry Potter series.
Steve Kloves says hello.
Coming back.
J.K. Rowling had executive writing decisions.
Look at every script.
She did. She had executive
script on that movie,
which means all she did was shake her head and got her paycheck. That's all she did. She didn't add anything. She wrote her. She got her pay.
That's already like the adaptation is handled by.
And
guess who they're bringing back for Fantastic Beasts 3 because of how incompetent
Steve Kloves.
Steve Kloves. You're welcome.
Exactly. So right now, I'm not very excited for it. I really hope they bring in a new writer to back them up, or I doubt this. People are saying that maybe Deborah Chow can like help be in charge of it. Like you were saying, Carson, maybe she can like oversee the script, which I think is very possible. She's a director, and in television, directors yikes.
Get it
Why
out.
people don't know that stuff. But in television, directors it's a very interesting thing because like they have a lot of say on an episode, but there's only so much they can do. Like, for example, I don't think Rian Johnson wrote Ozymandias. I keep saying all these Breaking Bad references.
Yeah.
But it's because I'm watching Better Call Saul right
But
now.
he elevated it because it was a good script.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like when you pair Rian Johnson with the Vince Gilligan script, you're going to get something amazing. And that's what happened. So Deborah Chow was a great director.
I don't want to show where Deborah Chow has to redeem, quote unquote, a bad script because it's only going to go so far.
Yeah.
Did Ryan write Fly?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe.
I'm gonna look at his writing credits.
Yeah, go look it up. But yeah, I think. Yeah, I thought so.
Because on cast, the intern from The Americans, correct? Or at least we did for directing, which is exciting.
I think even with showrunning, which means like writing. Yeah.
Right, and obviously now we have Tony Gilroy on board, which, I mean, he kind of saved Rogue One. Say what you want about Rogue One, but the part that he did was kind of the best part of it, the third act.
Scarif's amazing.
I don't know.
It's good.
Scarif is amazing. I love Scarif.
It's good.
Evan, you You misspoke. Amazing.
It's good, but so who wrote most of Mandalorian season 1? Was that Jon Favreau who wrote it?
Yeah,
Correct.
Favreau's
yeah.
a writer.
So yeah. So in those episodes, like we had a Favreau script backed by some great directors in Rick Famuyiwa, Deborah Chow, Bryce Dallas Howard, people like that. So, and Jon Favreau is a good writer. We see what he did for Iron Man. We see what he did for Chef and stuff like that. So we had confidence. For this guy, there's just no confidence. And again, we need that from Lucasfilm right now. They're not at a place where our confidence is earned. At least from my perspective. Again, this is all subjective.
Yeah. Best case scenario, it's like he could just be coming in to do the polish job, to do like, the last couple drafts of maybe they have all the backbones worked out and it's just like the dialogue thing and kind of like something that they're trying to fit like with the whole aesthetic of the show. They're trying to kind of just hone it as its own thing. And I really hope that that's the case, that they have, that it's not a total redirect of the show and they're like completely lost right now. I think that's both going to push when this show actually comes out and kind of like our confidence as a whole, even with this new story of how wavering it is.
Yeah. Yeah, you said something really good there, Carson. I think in terms of polishing the script, because we heard years ago, like back in 2018, 2017, that the Kenobi script is great, at least in terms of the movie. When they were doing the movie, we heard the script was great. But now I think the difficulty came when they had
that to TV.
Adapting it to TV, exactly, because now you have to. It's longer.
Instead of 2 hours, you're having to focus on 8 now.
Yeah, 8 or maybe even 6, as like I think Variety or Hollywood Reporter said they might go down to 6. It's not really confirmed yet, but if that's the case, it's like what at most like a 2 to 3 hour movie.
Yeah.
But even then, for TV, you have to extend some stuff. You have to give some time to breathe. And I think that's where Kenobi might be having some difficulty.
Which is crazy for where Obi-Wan is, but
yeah, exactly.
Easier said than done.
And granted, I think or I hope that Kenobi stays on Tatooine. That's my prediction. Like I don't want him going too many to off-world stuff. At least if he has to go to off-world, it has to be something very important.
Yeah, I think he is getting pulled off-world in this show, and I think there's going to be some like anxious kind of 4 scenes where he's going to be just completely distraught because it's the first time getting off planet in years, and he's just going to feel like completely just like complete out of his element, as crazy as it sounds for a Master Jedi, Obi-Wan Kenobi. But like writing what that conflict is, it's like
it's very true.
I would like to see if he goes off world, him like something will lead him, like he literally has to go off world, but he really doesn't want to because it's like, well, who's going to look after this child? I mean, yeah, like obviously Owen's there, but like how much can he do? Like I've had to bail him out a couple times,
and he has to like race back by the end of the series. He has to like get back, and maybe the threat is like closing in. I don't know what that threat would be, but that would be an interesting thing where it's completely blind from Luke's perspective, but Obi-Wan has to swoop in.
I'm trying to think. Will this be pre or post Darth Maul?
Post
and Rebels.
Post? That's old,
right? It has to be post, right?
Well,
no. Never mind. You're right.
No,
you're right.
No,
I'm misthinking. Yeah, pre Darth Maul. This is
pre Darth Maul.
Yeah, you're right. Because this is 7 years after Revenge of the Sith. So yeah, pre Darth Maul.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, probably 10. Probably halfway.
Yeah, probably halfway. Yeah, because I remember we talked about this because we're like at this point Darth Maul is doing his solo gangster shit stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
well,
that's about it. I'm good now.
We can wholly hope for the best because like a lot of people have been clamoring for this because out of all the prequel stuff, everybody would unanimously agree Ewan McGregor was the best as Obi-Wan, really channeling the original character. So, and I know he's super excited to do it. So we can only hope. And honestly, no matter what happens, in the same vein of like however people felt with prequel writing, Ewan's going to deliver a great performance.
Agreed. Yeah.
So there's still going to be some positives to find. Moving into our next project topics, we have Galaxy Adventures and Rollouts, another instance where there's nothing really new to say except I just like animation. Yeah, so Galaxy Adventures was fun. It was the retelling of the Force Awakens climactic lightsaber battle, with the hint of the Falcon's first flight in a while.
Yeah, the thing that got me with that is like it was good overall, but there's just this part where like Finn's in the gunner seat. He's like, "We need a pilot. We've got what? You're already in the air."
Well, it didn't get there yet. We were like heading there. It's like we need a pilot, and now we're in the ship. We got one.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason I love Galaxy Adventures is kind of their reusage and rekindling of lines, and where they just kind of use them, even if it's not the exact moment. And I'm like, okay, I love this. But just the way Kylo looked awesome in this episode.
Yeah.
I love
That
seeing the thread today of all the live action shots versus the Galaxy of Adventure shots, and just how the animators kind of honed Adam Driver's iconic moods in this lightsaber fight.
I never knew how much I needed to see. I never knew how much I needed to see animated Adam Driver leaning back furiously, like, "Oh God," to avoid a saber.
Oh, it's perfect.
That was pretty cool.
Dude, you know what's great is like I still get chills from those things. It's like even in animation when Rey catches the saber and you hear the Burning Homestead theme, it's like
I got really excited. Yeah.
The music and just like the richness of the visuals add to it astonishingly. I will probably officially make this the segment to just preach every week that I would like a full some project to be animated like this because it's gorgeous. Please.
Yeah, I agree. But I like how they made Kylo Ren so sinister, like Rey and Finn versus the sinister Kylo Ren. Like by the time episode 9 gets along, I wouldn't even call him sinister. Even when he's in charge of the First Order, I'm like, is he really sinister though? Like,
did he even say anything in this?
I don't think so.
Adam Driver didn't want them.
They recycle voice.
But even when Rey caught the lightsaber in the Galaxy of Adventures moment, when he looked at her, he was so like furious. I'm like, that's not canon.
No, not.
Like in The Force Awakens, he's so like bewildered. He's amazed rather than like furious that she has.
He's just shocked at that moment.
He's just shocked, yeah. But of course, this is Galaxy of Adventures. It's kids. It's more animated, so
kind of funny.
Who was more shocked? Who was more shocked, Kylo Ren or us?
Mark Hamill is the answer. But
Mark Hamill floats.
Mark Hamill was like, he's like, what? Ray caught it.
It should have been me.
It was gonna be me.
Luke Skywalker.
Honestly, if I took some, like,
JJ's got his back.
I might just like manipulate these animated frames, and I might see what it looks like to put Luke in that scene. But
no,
that's
get out. Goodbye.
No, not to change. It's curious to see. It doesn't matter. Anyway,
you got your moment. He caught it. The saber flames.
I know. None of it's canon. None of it's canon. Stop.
I forgot about that moment until Carson brought it up again.
BB-8 didn't chest butt
both sabers to Exegol.
All right, but there was a pretty funny part where Finn like takes up the lightsaber and he's going like right in to fight Ben, and he instantly got knocked out.
Instantly, I was laughing so hard. I'm like, oh wow.
Also, Rey getting thrown in, like Rey getting thrown into the tree. Like I don't know why. It must have been a different take of the scream, but it was so funny.
It wasn't. That's the I know.
Have you guys seen the heroes versus villains audio dub that they did for that?
Oh no!
It's just like I can handle my. She gets pushed to the tree. Rey has met her defeat.
No. Oh god. But however, we also had another episode of Rollouts, which doesn't super dive into another new reveal, but it did give us some wonderful Han and Ben father-son adventuring, which is always great, along with Uncle Chewie. Just like getting the whole sense of like they work well together in these particular situations because sometimes they can do something the other can't because Ben at the moment is just a child. However, he's a force-sensitive child. So while taking on these bad dudes, it's
Butterfly
fun.
Hunters.
Yeah,
should be renamed Butterfly Hunters.
Yeah, while
I love this episode. Seeing the Falcon.
Yeah.
Do you guys see the Falcon?
I still haven't watched any rollouts.
Any?
Carson froze.
I did.
Oh,
Oh,
you're
okay,
back.
you're better now.
am I back?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're back.
Okay, I was talking about
144p glory.
the Falcon, seeing the Falcon in this animation style.
Beautiful.
It is super cool, and this is even more quote unquote watered down content for kids, and I love it just as much. Like, I know we do the whole canon hunting every week of like, oh, what does the symbolism mean?
What
But
if
I feel like
today?
right, it's like this week more than ever. I just love seeing Ben and Han just going on an adventure, and that's all it was, and that's all I needed, kind of.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Like, this really epitomized, like, I really love the trio of Chewie, Han, and Ben. Like, I wouldn't mind a comic or a little small young adult book with just young Ben, Han, and Chewie going on some kind of adventure and trouble ensues. I love them together.
I would love far-fetched requests, but I would love an animation. But
Me too, yeah.
yeah, this stuff is great. I love seeing just Han proud of his son in the adventure aspect that they go on. It's his life, but
and
like
then he just stabs
Ben's
him like
good at
20
it.
years down the road.
Oh,
But,
my
like,
gosh.
Oh, does he? I don't remember that. So.
I won't kick you today, but maybe if you say it again.
I'm just pointing out what's canon.
Yeah, cool.
Right through the chest, he stabbed him.
All right, but yeah, no, it's fun because like it was expressed that like it's Han's life. That's how like the best thing he knows. However, I think Ben would have been pretty good at the smuggling game as well.
I think so too. Really.
Yeah, imagine a scenario in which Ben stayed home, which is crazy.
I think about it every day, Carson.
What if?
Yeah.
I need a Star Wars what if. That would be fun.
I just said that.
Oh, I thought you only said what if. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
But yeah, it's some good stuff. However, I don't know if anybody has any info pulled up because I will not remember everything, but we got some new character descriptions regarding our new heroes we will be following for many years with the High Republic.
I think I bookmarked it on my phone.
I haven't even gotten. I haven't
I'm
even
pulling
had
it up right now.
chance to read it yet.
Well,
We'll read it for you, Brandon.
Live first reactions.
Breaking. There's Jedi. All right.
For 1,000 generations.
They keep banking on that too. Like
I know, right? Yeah, I'm like,
one line.
I get it. Yeah.
So they're like, quote, the creative publishing directors, like, readers will see a very Jedi in this era. Very exciting. While the Jedi are undoubtedly heroes in the High Republic, they promise to be very unique and very human.
And he froze again.
Told you, man. Stop light speed skipping. It's gonna mess up your whole flow.
I really like this guy's name, Loden Greatstorm.
Oh,
Yeah, that is a great name.
I wonder if he has a great storm.
Wow.
you guys ready for Carson to jump back in like the middle of the passage? Honestly, fun blooper moment.
But yeah. But I also have it written down here too as well.
Go ahead.
So the first Jedi we see here on the list is Avar Chris, which is the blonde Jedi. I think she's the same Jedi that was in the Rise of Kylo Ren issue number 2 or number 3.
Really?
I think because it was when Luke was. Oh yeah, Carson's back. But it was when Luke was trying to like train the Jedi, and like they open up a holocron, and you see one of the holocron goes up, and it looks like a blonde Jedi, and I'm like, oh, she'll be in the High Republic.
Screenshot her look. I wanted to go back.
Yeah, try and look for that.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's Rise of Kylo Ren number 3 or 4. But yeah, Avar Chris, people were questioning this because all the other ones were clearly defined as either Jedi Knights or Jedi Masters. Avar Chris wasn't, and people thought, is she
that
not a
looks
Jedi Knight?
okay.
Yeah,
That's
right there.
at the green
Yeah.
screen, but like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's for sure.
I think that's her, right? So I think she's a Jedi Master because on Wiki Official, she's known as a Jedi Master, even though it's not said in this description. But
There we go.
yep, cool, right there.
There you go.
Sweet.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me just. I can green screen it if you need me to.
The whole thing? I mean, no.
Yeah.
You got it.
No, we're good.
Hello, Sacha. Why, Carson?
But so yeah, Avar Chris, and she's like known to be the most brightest, most noble example of a Jedihood. She tries to see the good in people and situations. She never puts herself first. She's invigorated about life on the frontier and the challenges it brings, and the inspiration for those she works with. She's compassionate, not dogmatic, always ready to sacrifice herself over others. And she's the best of the best. I like that a lot too. Yeah.
I hope we get many examples. I think set up for plenty good characterization.
Yeah. Do you think she's to be the main character of Charles Soule novel?
I think maybe a few. We'll probably have a group.
A group of characters. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So probably
I agree. If you can hear me.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I believe he's tooling with you, sir.
Oh, Carson, we haven't dipped in anything. If you want to reread it.
No, I know you guys read the first one.
Yeah, I just read the
character,
first description. Yeah.
Second character is a Twi'lek, I believe.
Yeah, you can go into the next one, Carson, if you want.
Yeah, Twi'lek Loden is a Twi'lek Jedi Master and is considered to be one of the best teachers in the Jedi Order. Strong and wise with a good sense of humor, Loden looks at every moment as a learning experience, always trying to better himself and those around him, especially his Padawans. Sounds like Yoda.
With longer ears.
Which is be interesting to get a new perspective of the hierarchy of, what the Jedi look like at this point, of like who kind of fills that position.
I'm ready for hero Jedi that are actually heroes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm ready for middle-aged Yoda.
Let's go.
He's still a baby.
But yeah, I want to see what separates that guy like from Yoda or from like, because one of the things in the prequels, like all the Jedi Masters are very wise, but they're all kind of similar. Like what really separates Kaidi Mundi from Plo Koon in a way, or that's a bad example. Plo Koon's pretty unique, but
yeah,
dare you?
But there's certain Jedi Masters that look. Yeah, there's so many Jedi that just are very similar in the prequels. I can't wait to see all these High Republic characters that are very unique.
I think everyone's going to be a little, at least, more different in this, because I don't think that they're as focused as a group. I know we talked about this before, but I think there's going to be some more arguments and more discrepancies between Jedi because they haven't really honed their teachings and beliefs as much as obviously we've seen them very much under one roof and one kind of system in the prequels. And so I think that's going to be so interesting to see, is like everyone's different beliefs kind of clashing together to kind of form what the Jedi believe in.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, especially with the whole aspect of the frontier now. And so, and Avar Chris, her description said like she's very excited for the frontier. Is every Jedi excited for the frontier?
Yeah, probably not.
Even if she's the best of the best, maybe she's like so excited for the frontier, but everybody else is like, wait a second. Maybe Loden, for example, Great Storm over here. Maybe he's like, maybe we should just stay in Coruscant, not trying to overexpand, but you never know.
Do you
I
think
know Claudia's Jedi kid is very nervous.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he is. He's not one of these characters, right?
No.
Hey, do you guys think we'll get Sith at all?
Phase 2.
Phase 2 or 3, like down the line. I hope not too soon. I just want to really dive into some of the main antagonists. Denial. Yeah, some of the main characters within Denial. I want to see that.
Right.
Our next character, I'm solely trying to go off memory because I read this past afternoon. This Jedi has a double-sided green saber.
Yeah.
Keeve
Trennis over here. Yeah, very interesting.
What we got with her?
She is a young firebrand Jedi, believed to have a great future ahead of her if only she would believe it herself. She's quick-witted and more impulsive than she should be. She only has been a Jedi Knight for a few weeks and is a little starstruck around Avar, the first Jedi we talked about, and knowing many of the great things Chris has done in the past. So she is determined to prove herself to Avar and the other legendary Jedi stationed on Starlight Beacon, but first she must learn to trust in herself as much as she trusts the Force. I'm thinking, having read that, I think she could be the main character or one of the main characters in the comic book.
Yeah.
The comic book is the one that's focusing on Starlight Beacon compared to the others. So maybe she's very involved in that.
I am intrigued. It's hard to add with these completely new characters we know nothing about.
Yeah. I like her design though. Her design's pretty cool.
Oh,
It kind of reminds me of a little bit of qualities of Anakin, but very much more grounded and lack of understanding in themselves or lack of ego in themselves. So
Anakin, yeah.
Right. So it's kind of an anti-Anakin situation, which is super interesting as a character.
She's strong, she just doesn't know it, which is really cool.
Yeah. And then this last character, I think it said she's the youngest knight at the time. Is that what it said?
Yeah, she's one of the at 16. She is one of the youngest knights in a generation. Her name is Vern Rao, I think.
Right.
Vern Rao. Newly minted Jedi Knight.
So she's on the cover of the youth novel or the middle-aged novel, correct?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I can't remember. If you go back to the book that's coming out in September, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Justina Ireland one?
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but she's on this thumbnail.
Let's.
Because I was intrigued by her character. Because there's the, with wanting to live.
Test of courage. She Jedi. Looks like it. No, yeah, somebody else.
But we skipped over
somebody else. The person. Oh yeah, we did skip over.
Yeah, Vern
Rao's master.
Oh yeah,
master is Stellan Gios. Yeah,
he has a dope saber. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah, crossguard.
On the image, there's a crossguard without the actual lightsabers being crossguards. It's just like an actual crossguard.
Do you think it's made of a metal that's saber resistant?
Yeah, I'm about to ask about that. I'm not sure.
I think
or it could just be accessory. Like because
that gets sliced, man.
Exactly. It has to be made out of something strong.
See, I like how they're going back and making it look like medieval times.
Yeah.
Even with the point of their sabers, even their hilts with the crossguard, it's kind of look like the Crusade and the medieval times too.
I'd be fascinated if you were to dive into their history at their time. Maybe it's developed from a past, not like saber. Like this hilt design is carried on from more of a traditional actual blade, like a sword, like pre-technological advancement. Like
I guess we don't know.
Maybe
I bet that's what they asked themselves. I bet in those writers' rooms and those writers' conferences that they had at Skywalker Ranch, they're probably like, okay, because of how significant the past is in Star Wars, what is their past, and what is their cultural kind of understanding of things? And I'm sure it's going to be very different for how set this is in the past from the Star Wars we know. And so I'd be curious to see if we see kind of designs and cultural things kind of implemented in a way that is, different or stemmed from like you said, like a more sword design, or those would be cool details that I think all these authors can add.
And I think that actually makes me think of a cool detail if they go this route, because Star Wars, ever since it came out in 1977, nailed in home the idea of the used future. And when the prequels came out, a lot of people were like, oh, everything's pristine and great looking. But then when I look back on it, not everything looks that fantastic. I'm not talking visual wise. I'm talking about just their settings. Stuff can still look grimy and stuff.
Yeah.
When I see all the concept art for High Republic, everything looks really bright and colorful. So I think we'll probably be at the peak of our future technology. Everything looks pretty fantastic.
Which is fascinating, getting into when they eventually do Old Republic, how different is that going to look from the High Republic? If the High Republic already looks so, like Brandon said, in terms of Crusades and medieval times, is the High Republic? I mean, is the Old Republic going to look even more ancient? So, man,
would the Old Republic be before, after, or could they incorporate it during High Republic?
I mean, they could, but Old Republic could just mean when they first discover Force and all that stuff, and one of the first Jedi, first Sith, those kind of wars.
I think it's definitely going to be something that's in reference in this book, in these books, of oh, blah 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 tells us this, or my master, or something.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Also, in Stellan Gios's description, he says he is currently stationed at one of the Jedi Temple outposts on the distant planet of Karagon Viner, or something like that. And that's very fascinating because, like, it's just saying they have Jedi Temple outposts on different planets, and that's kind of new, right?
And how much you want to bet that the Nile are going to be attacking those outposts? I'm ready for it.
With his young Padawan, the last part we talked about. So hopefully they stay alive. I don't want to raise that much.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, I think they're definitely primed for an attack. Like once they're on the outpost and once the great disaster happens and they can't get off that planet, maybe chaos ensues. So very exciting.
Yeah. So sticking with our canons that are primarily text-based, Sacred Jedi Text Time. Has anybody been doing some canon readings?
Text-based?
Yeah.
So does that mean no audiobooks, sir?
Oh my gosh.
Okay, but I've been listening to the expanded version of The Rise of Skywalker. Ray Carson, you are a genius. I commend you so much. You've expanded on certain things where I've had questions on, just like such as like the Knights of Ren, who their true allegiance was, and their true allegiance were to Palpatine. So
really?
that's why they confronted him on Exegol. Like when Ben got there, he thought, okay, cool, the Knights are gonna help me out, and then he realized, and then he sensed the hatred off of them. He's like, oh fuck. So that's when he starts having to kick some ass.
Okay. Wait, does he internally realize that they're loyal to Palpatine, or do they say something to him, saying like
they don't say anything, but he can sense it from them.
Okay.
He can sense it from them. So there's that. They've expanded on Lando getting back on the Falcon again. Because it took him a quick minute to get back on there.
Any L3 mention?
Nice flying, Lando.
I was about to say that. Unfortunately, no L3 mention. However, he pretty much looks at every other aspect of the Falcon, but his closet is gone. He's like,
oh.
Yeah. But
so did you finish the book, Brandon?
I have like 45 minutes left of it. I just got to the part where all the ships come in, and Kaz is in it. They give us this little segment. They give us this little segment of all the ships that are coming out of Lightspeed, doing like reporting in. And it's like, this is the Mon Calamari fleet standing by. This is the Inferno Squadron standing by, like Zay Versio. This is the Inferno Squadron standing by. This is
Colossus or Fireball.
Unfortunately, oh yeah, he's in there too. He's like, this is the Fireball standing by. The Ghost even checks in.
Oh yeah, with Hera, right?
Which we speculated.
It's a guy saying it.
Oh, okay, it's a guy.
Jason? It's Jason. I think it's Jason Sindola.
How old was Jason? Oh, he'd be like 30 at this time. Yeah.
35.
Mid 30s, yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I keep laughing at in this though, the guy voicing it has to do the Chewbacca moans.
Why? They couldn't use sounds.
It sounds so weird.
Oh no! And just do weird audio sound. That's tragic.
Galaxy of Adventures, a simple YouTube Star Wars for Kids channel, can get the access to the specific files of the audio from the 70s.
Just call Eunice. Be like, yo, Eunice, yell into my phone real quick.
When we get off there, I'll have to tell you guys what it sounds like.
Leak it online. I'll take the copyright.
But just going into that moment, Brandon, that's the kind of thing I wish was in the movie. In terms of just like, I don't need all the canon to be specifically revealed in the movie, but just seeing like the Ghost call in or the Fireball call in, it would make that moment. It would make that moment more special.
It'd be our version. It'd be the Star Wars version of Portals.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Like, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, all the ships like coming out of hyperspace was awesome, but at the same time, give us all the ships reporting in. I mean, as great as this little scene was of giving us Wedge back, give us everyone else.
But that's the thing, because like even in the movie, it was just like, hey, they're all just reporting in. It's a really cool scene, I guess, because visually speaking. But you don't really feel anything. But when the guy in First Order says like, "It's just people, sir," like that's a great line, but we don't really get that sense of it. We just see Lando and Wedge. But by using that line that's in the audio, even if you're not like, if you're my dad or my mom who doesn't read the novels, you'd still get the sense that these are different people. Like you hear the Mon Calamari, you hear different people calling in. You get the sense that they are people. But in the movie, it's just like, boom, here they are. Here's Lando. Yay.
I agree. It's a situation where I think like every other time we've seen Wings report in, we hardly know these characters aside from maybe like Wedge again or something.
Yeah.
But in this instance, you know, a lot of the audience will probably be like, okay, yeah, so like, you know, our squadron, cool, that we're fighting with, we're following, cool. But like the canon readers and watchers and everything would be like, oh my god, that's incredible.
Exactly.
And it probably would even more so give more feel to like, wow, we really got like a ragtag of the entire galaxy because all of these random people come together.
Yes, exactly. Just random people coming together. Resistance finally taking over the First Order. That would have been so powerful and meaningful, but it just wasn't executed in the movie.
Yeah. We'll never get it fixed, but we have to just deal. We have to deal.
There's more of us, Nathan. There's more of us.
More of you know, I don't care. Like honestly, I still feel that scene. Like just from the whole saga itself, just like the galaxy rising up against Palpatine stuff. That's beautiful.
It's cool.
Oh my god. Okay, so Kylo, it even says in the novelization, Kylo, like, he never knows that Hux was the spy. He just, because he goes back on the First Order ship just so he can get to Exegol.
Okay.
And because he was, what he does is he salvages a TIE fighter from the Death Star and then flies to General Pride's ship. And it's just someone else. It's just someone else on the intercom. He doesn't even ask any questions. He's just like, oh, okay.
Like he hears somebody say that Hux was a spy.
No, nobody tells him or anything.
Oh,
He just sees someone else on the intercom telling him like, oh, we're coming up on Exegol, sir.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, cool.
He doesn't.
Yeah, he's like, I knew it.
It sounds like such a Ben moment, honestly. Like, all right.
He kind of does. Like, I never liked the guy anyways.
I'm not even about this fight anymore. I don't care.
But one thing that also helps out is like it expounds on how Pride gets to Exegol.
Sure.
Because without a wayfinder, Palpatine basically uploads him the star chart.
Do they get at all into Pride's connection with Palpatine?
No.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. It just, it's just the same line from the movie. Also, one thing that I've wondered is like when Rey gives Ben the saber and then she takes out her own, why does Palpatine get pulled back when he still needs her to kill him?
Well, because it's not out of like hateful spite anymore.
I mean, but does it need to be though? Like either way, like
clearly, because
that's what the movie tells us, I guess. So.
Yeah,
I can break it down. I will break down answers for you.
She kills him by using defense, technically.
Yeah, killed by his own power. Which,
well, I'm saying like at first when she takes out Leia's saber to begin with.
Sure. Well, defense.
But yeah. So, anything else, Brennan, from the novelization? So you liked it better?
Oh yeah, 100%. It just expands on somebody like how it shows Zori getting off world and like all of her crews getting killed by the Knights of Ren one by one.
Whoa,
that's interesting.
The Knights of Ren do something.
Whoa!
Wow.
So the Knights of Ren take down Zori's crew?
Yeah,
We
including-
missed that. Dang.
The Knights
Wow.
didn't actually do something other than walk around.
So it was like as they're trying to escape, and Kylo's still on Pisana, or not Pisana, but Kijimi.
Jimmy, Kylo went back to his ship already.
Okay.
But Zori is trying to escape to get off world, but the First Order still has their presence there, and the Knights of Ren are still walking around looking for any remaining people. So during the night raids and everything. So basically, yeah, Zori's crew gets killed, and
Every single one of them besides her.
and Babu.
Yeah, and Babu Frick. But
Never
they were all thinking like they were all like, yeah, we need to get off world. Some stuff's going down. Poe Dameron came back and kind of screwed us over, but we need. It's just like with the Mandalorians. We need to split up.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
Yeah. So Zori flies a Y-wing.
Yeah,
Right.
we saw that in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So Zori's Y-wing is pretty cool.
And that's how she gets off planet.
It kind of explains how she got the ship too. I can't remember, but it explains how she got the ship and everything.
Okay, that's really cool. I mean, when the Knights of Ren are fighting Zori's people, like, do they?
Oh, they're not fighting. They just slash them.
Oh, okay, just massacre.
Basically massacre.
Very Knights of
That's
Ren.
really cool. That's really fascinating. Very Knights of Ren, like, yeah. As like the Rise of Kylo Ren shows, they just kill people for no reason.
I would be excited to hear how the Jedi voices are handled in the novel.
I haven't got to that point yet.
Okay.
Right.
So we'll do it next week.
Next week. But for now, we will be concluding with one final thing, and that is Carson's going to read a certain point of view.
No, I'm not.
No,
Oh, wait. I actually I finished Resistance Reborn like on Sunday.
Finally.
Sunday or Monday.
Finally.
Yeah, I was taking my time.
we're out of time.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We're out of time? No,
No,
I'm
we're
kidding. But yeah, I think just in general, overall, like a little quick book review. I think it was a very good book. Like I was saying earlier, I don't mind the connections in Resistance Reborn because they actually meant something to all the characters. And I really liked the third act of this book more so than the first couple of chapters. Because the first couple of chapters was Poe being mad at himself because everything he did in The Last Jedi, which I liked. I liked Poe having to fess up to what he did in The Last Jedi, which caused the death of hundreds of people. But then, like, once everybody's together, once they're all in their different squads, and once they go on, like, these last couple of missions in the end of the book, I really loved all the action sequences. Again, I love seeing Shriv and Zay Versio together, working together.
Nice.
And it was just really fun overall. I liked seeing more Finn and Poe stuff, really leaning hard into the Finn Poe stuff. It's really comical at that point. But just overall, it was really good. I really liked it overall. Yeah.
Wonderful.
They never got their credits back.
Oh, yeah, they never got the credits back. Yeah, they're pretty poor. You get the sense it's very poor at the end of Resistance Reborn. They hardly have anything. Yeah.
Well, it's 2:19 a.m. That would conclude our show once again. Yeah, it was a great time. We had a very. It's nice to have all of these topics and it actually carry the full runtime instead of just like we zipped through the last like couple shows with like 20 topics.
I know. Yeah, that's crazy.
And yet, with the least amount of content from the rollout, we made that work. But yeah, it was a great time. As per usual, I will turn that on. As per usual, we do these shows every Friday night to Saturday morning-ish. I know it's like late, but you know it's the best time where we can all reach each other and to get the content out to you guys at the quickest because Star Wars content is constantly dropping. But yeah. As for always, you can find us on many different platforms. Evan, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Harris EV9 on Twitter. I forgot to mention, Marvel came out and said like they're kind of pausing. They're taking a pause on Star Wars and Marvel comics.
Oh.
So yeah, no comics for Star Wars for the next couple of months. But this is a good time to just like, for me at least, to catch up on all these Star Wars comics. So that's what I'll be doing for the next couple of weeks. And I'm still just bummed about The Last of Us 2 getting delayed indefinitely. So that's where you'll find me.
Absolutely. Brandon, closing thoughts.
It was a great episode again. Thanks for having me on. Like Nathan said, we do this every Friday night. Me personally, I have an episode coming out on this channel. I had the honor and pleasure of being able to talk to the YouTube channel Arlnauts. They do some great Star Wars parodies and stuff. So I got to do a Hyperspace Hype one-on-one interview with them. And it was like about a 90-minute interview. And I'm really excited for you guys to listen to it because it was a personal dream of mine to interview them because I'm in love with their channel and all that. So I'm really excited for you guys to see it and everything. So yeah, see you guys next week.
Yeah, that'll be dropped within next week. And conclude, Carson, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at The Force Critic. Like Evan said, as it's a perfect time to catch up on comics, and comics is the one area of Star Wars that I am severely lacking in. So I'm actually going to be starting Dr. Aphra. Hopefully more on that in next week's episode. But yeah, I'm excited to we are in the final stretch of Clone Wars, and that's as terrifying as it is. We've been waiting for this moment, and I think next in the year, so I'm excited to break it down next Friday.
Awesome. And as for always, you can find me and the whole crew with the links in the description below. And yeah, it was a fun show. Great time talking with all you guys. So from all us Raylos here, if you enjoyed our podcast, hit the like button, subscribe if not already. And that being said, hope you have a great day. May the Force be with you always.